conversation.
Pretty good. How are you today?
I'm all right. It's been an interesting week.
Yeah? Tell me a little more about that.
Well, on top of classes and everything being stressful, I don't know, I've been kind of struggling a little bit with who I am. That sounds very like otherworldly, but I don't know. I'm at a weird kind of place right now.
Yeah. Sounds a little uncomfortable.
So it's gonna get real personal here. I thought I was straight for a long time, and I'm very involved in the LGBT center here, and all my friends are gay, to be honest. So it's always been this interesting place already. And then the past little bit, well, a while back, I kind of realized, well, haha, maybe you're not 100% straight. But then more recently, I guess as I've learned more education, read more about other people's experiences, and I was introduced to this concept of romantic attraction and sexual attraction being different.
Yeah.
And I guess that really struck a chord with me, and realized, okay, this makes a little more sense for you and things you've been feeling. So I know that I'm queer in some aspects, but I'm having trouble, like I don't have a good label for it, or a good way to define how I'm feeling, and I don't know, it's just kind of been like some inner turmoil, and I've told my two closest friends, and it's like, yeah, I don't really have this label for it, but I need y'all to know so you don't call me like, the straight friend anymore, because that's, not true. It's a lot.
Yeah, sounds like a lot. So what I'm hearing is that for most of your life, you've kind of lived with this label, you felt like you were straight, but and become involved in advocacy, really been involved with the LGBT community, but now you're kind of realizing that you are a part of that community. And it sounds like, I don't know, I'm kind of feeling like maybe sounds like you're a little nervous about it, a little unsure of where you fit into that sphere.
Yeah, I think so. And I think one term that does not fit me perfectly, but that I use a lot, is bisexual, because I resonate with that more than anything else. And you being an educated woman, like that within itself is difficult, even in the LGBT community, because people assume, you're either gay or you're straight, and like that's it. And so, even like among my friends, it's just like hard to talk about, hard for other people to understand, and also this question of, do I want to come out to other people? Is that necessary? Do I need to do that? So a lot of questions going on in my head.
Yeah, definitely. It's not talked about a whole lot, but I think you're definitely hinting at that we've approached it here, and that's really made an impact.
Yeah, I definitely feel like in this office there's been some good support, and that's why I feel comfortable talking to you and some other people here. Because I know that my identity is valid, but having trouble internalizing that and feeling proud and confident of that identity is something I'm still working on and might be working on for a while.
So Kate, the first thing I want to tell you is thank you for coming in and talking with me about this, because I know it's a deeply personal topic and it's not something that you can share lightly. I identify as a queer woman as well, but I mean, different people have different perspectives, and it can always be taken differently, so I want to thank you for sharing that with me.
Thanks for saying that.
Yeah, no problem. So I want to explore a little deeper into how you're feeling right now, because it seems like that's where a lot of your turmoil is coming right now. You said that you've kind of put the label on it as bisexual, but that doesn't really feel right. What are you kind of exploring? Like, how are you feeling?
Well, to get to the real problem, so my romantic attraction, as far as I know, and I recognize that like these things are fluid and can change, and I'm a pretty open person, but my romantic attraction is heteroromantic, which is privileged. So that's a very weird place to be when like that's what people talk about, because it's not, you know, people don't talk about sex, and you know there's that stigma. So that's the identity that is queer. I lost where I was going with this.
That's all right. Take your time.
What was your question again?
No, that's okay. How are you feeling about your sexuality? Like,
where am I exploring? That's what you said.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like experiencing attraction to people that, you know, aren't cisgender men. And that's been going on for a while, but I never like realized it, or like was able to actually be like, oh, this is, you know, this is outside of the norm, I guess.
Yeah.
So most of the time I just tell people I'm bisexual because it's easier.
Yeah.
Actually, polysexual I think is kind of a little more true for me, but again, people don't understand what that means. So I don't know, as a student who cares about this kind of work and who is very involved already, I even feel like I just can't be true with those identities that are related, but one's privileged and one's oppressed, and so it's very complicated. So I just take an easier route.
Yeah.
But so there's good things and bad things to it.
Yeah, definitely. Sounds like there's a lot of definitely fear of having this privilege, but also identifying with this marginalized identity that you just really realized. And you know, you're very educated, so knowing that power dichotomy is there, but you know, not wanting to take advantage of it, not wanting to weigh one over the other, and honestly, that's something we face every day. I mean, as a queer white woman as well, I mean, there's power plays going on as well. But do you think that fear plays a role in your identity?
I'm not quite sure what you mean by that.
Let me rephrase a little bit.
Okay.
Sorry. I know that I'm hearing that you're having this problem with one side of you being privileged and one side of you being marginalized. Do you feel like that fear is driving the way that you're labeling your sexuality right now?
Maybe, yeah. Maybe some. Just, I don't know. I guess me, like many other humans, just always want to take the easier route, and people don't understand bisexuality, but they are more familiar with that. If I were to, you know, talk on a panel or do something and say I'm heteroromantic polysexual, what is happening? So I don't know. I'm just not honest with everyone about that, but I'm also. It's important to recognize, and I always, you know, in my educational moments, I always say I have passing privilege.
Yeah.
I have a boyfriend right now, so people assume I'm straight. So there's that, and I acknowledge that, and that's an important piece of it. But I don't know. I'm just wondering do I keep some of these things to myself, or should I be using them? Not using my identities for good, because I know I want to go into this work eventually. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm hearing that this is a very deeply personal thing to you, but that you also want to use it, you know, use it within your advocacy, something that I've seen you doing a lot in these past few months. How are you reconciling that? having to have this public face and
Right.
also
Mhm.
dealing with this very personal matter because it's
Mhm.
a lot.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of just ignore that there's still like some tension there, I guess. I ignore talking about it to my family completely. And that's another question I have is like, will I ever come out to them because I don't know if I need to? So, I don't know. I mean, times like this are great, like having people who I can talk through it with and say, hey, this is me. So that's good, but
It's hard with people that don't have that knowledge and understanding.
Yeah, like you have to have someone who knows a good, like a decent amount about like LGBTQ community to be able to even like verbalize some of this stuff.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm hearing like your family relations are also playing into this. How are things at home?
They're good, yeah. I mean, I have a good relationship with my mom and my dad too. Yeah, and I think I'm glad I'm not in high school experiencing this. You know, being in college, you're only at home so much, so you can kind of like be particular about what you talk about. But yeah, it's good. I guess what's keeping me from talking to them about this is just that not understanding. Like mom has a very, I don't even know if I would call it foundational level of this stuff. So if, you know, even just telling her I'm bisexual, I feel like she would, you know, get something up in her head and not understand it, so.
Yeah. How important do you feel that is to you for your parents to understand?
I think it's going to become more important in the future. Right now, it doesn't bother me a whole lot, to be honest. Only when I start thinking about it, but I feel like I know if I want to continue to, you know, do work related to LGBT students, other students, that it might need to be talked about one day. I don't know, just to be true and authentic, but it's kind of something like, oh, I'll get to it when I get there.
Yeah, it's kind of working that out within yourself as well before you really bring that to your parents who might not understand.
Yeah, and that's scary for anyone.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely know a lot of people who come in here with the same problems, and it's not an easy place for anyone to be in. So Kate, I know that we've talked about a lot today, but I think personally what I'm really taking away from this, and correct me if I'm wrong, because we have talked about a lot, but it sounds like you're really struggling with your personal identity and trying to see what that means for you, and also for what it means for your advocacy, especially within this office, and what it means for your relationships as well.
Yeah, that was a good summary.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, pretty much how it's going to impact the rest of my life.
Yeah. So what steps do you think we could take just to work this out, you know, make you a little more comfortable? Because we want to make sure that you're comfortable not only in this office, but personally and at home as well.
Yeah, I think if I could continue to meet with you on a regular basis, that'd be great, because I know just talking about it is helpful.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I mean, I have other queer friends to talk to it about too, and making sure I'm utilizing them in that way, because I know they're supportive, but
yeah, definitely.
doing that.
Yeah, so I definitely have office hours, and we can set up a regular appointment if you want, maybe for like an hour a week, something like that. Is there anything else that I could help you with? Maybe,
I think I'm okay for today.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, if you ever need me, I just want you to know that my door is open and that you're not alone with these feelings. I mean, There's definitely people struggling with the same thing, and I want you to know that there's community here for you.
Thanks, Christian. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Well, I'll see you next week then.
All right, see you next week. Bye, Kate.
Bye.